What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Crowned by Kenzie. Guys, this is a sad, sad day. But according to the Associated Press, Grammy award winning gospel singer and mother to one of the greatest voices of our time, Cissy Houston, has passed away at the age of 91. But before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell so that way you know when we go live or we post another video. So, again, guys, this is according to the Associated Press. Cissy Houston, a two-time Grammy-winning gospel and soul artist who sang with Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley, and other stars, and new triumph and heartbreak as the mother of Whitney Houston has died. She was 91. Cissy Houston died Monday morning at her New Jersey home while under hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. Her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, told the Associated Press. The acclaimed gospel singer was surrounded by her family. And I quote, "Our hearts are filled with pain and sadness. We lost the matriarch of our family," Pat Houston said in a statement. She said her mother-in-law contributions to popular music and culture are unparalleled. Mother Cissy has been a strong and towering figure in our lives, a woman of deep faith and conviction who cared greatly about family, ministry, and community. Her more than 7-decade career in music and entertainment will remain at the forefronts of our hearts. A church performer from an early age, Houston was part of a family gospel act before breaking through in popular music in the 1960s as a member of the prominent backing group The Sweet Inspirations with Doris Troy and her niece Dee Dee Warwick. The group sang backup for a variety of soul singers, including Otis Redding, Lou Rawls, and the Drifters. They also sang backup for Dionne Warwick. Houston's many credits included Franklin's Think and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl, and Dusty Springfield's Son of a Preacher Man. The Sweet Inspirations also sang on stage with Presley, whom Houston would remember fondly for singing gospel during rehearsal breaks and telling her that she was squirrely. At the end of our engagement with him, he gave me a bracelet inscribed with my name on the outside, she wrote in her memoir, How Sweet the Sound, published in 1998. On the inside of the bracelet, he had inscribed his nickname for me, Squirrely. The Sweet Inspirations had their own top 20 single with the soul rock Sweet Inspiration, made in the Memphis studio where Franklin and Springfield, among others, recorded hits and released 4 albums just in the late 1960s. The group appeared on Van Morrison's Brown Eyed Girl and sang backup vocals for the Jimi Hendrix Experience on the song Burning of the Midnight Lamp in 1967. Houston's last performance with the Sweet Inspirations came after the group hit the stage with Presley in a Las Vegas show in 1969. Her final recording session with the group turned into their biggest hit, Gotta Find a Brand New Lover, a composition by the production team of Gamble and Huff, who appeared on the group's fifth album, Sweet, Sweet Soul. During that time, the group occasionally performed live concert dates with Franklin. After the group's success and 4 albums together, Houston left the Sweet Inspirations to pursue a solo career where she flourished. Houston became an in demand session singer and recorded more than 600 songs in multiple genres throughout her career. Her vocals can be heard on tracks alongside a wide variety of artists, including Shaka Khan, Donny Hathaway, Jimi Hendrix, Luther Vandross, Beyonce, Paul Simon, Roberta Flack, and her daughter, Whitney Houston. Cissy Houston went on to complete several records, including presenting Cissy Houston, the disco era, Think It Over, and the Grammy winning gospel albums Face to Face, and He Leadeth Me. In 1971, Houston's signature vocals were featured on Burt Bacharach's solo album, which includes Mexican Divorce, All Kinds of People, and one less bell to answer. She performed various standards, including Barbra Streisand's hit song Evergreen. Never far from her native New Jersey or musical origins, Houston presided for decades, over the 200 member youth inspirational choir at Newark's New Hope Baptist Church, where Whitney Houston sang as a child. Cissy Houston would say that she had discouraged her daughter from show business, but they were joined in music for much of Whitney's life, from church to stage performances to television and film and the recording studio. Whitney's rise seemed inevitable, not only because of her obvious talents, but because of her background. Dion and Dee Dee Warwick were cousins. Leontine Price, a cousin once removed. Franklin, a close family friend. Whitney Houston made her debut on national television when she and Cissy Houston sang a medley of Franklin hits on The Merv Griffin Show. Cissy Houston sang backup on Whitney's multi-platinum first album, and the two shared the lead on I Know Him So Well from the 1987 mega seller Whitney. They would sing together often in concert and appear in the 1996 film The Preacher's Wife. Their most indelible moments likely came from the video for one of Whitney's biggest hits from the 1980s, Greatest Love of All. It was filmed as a mother daughter homage, ending with a joyous Whitney exiting the stage of Harlem's Apollo Theater and embracing Cissy Houston, who stood in the wings. But drug problems damaged Whitney's voice and reputation and eventually ended her life. She was found dead in a Beverly Hills bathtub on February the 11th, 2012. Cissy Houston would blame husband Bobby Brown for Whitney's getting so deep into drugs, writing in the 2013 memoir Remembering Whitney. Brown acknowledged his problems, but was dismissive of his in-laws in a 2016 interview with Larry King. Cissy and Whitney Houston had a complicated dynamic at times. Whitney nicknamed her mother Big Cuda, as in Barracuda. Cissy described in the memoir that her daughter as mean and difficult at times, but wrote almost always her daughter was the sweetest, most loving person in the room. In 2015, Cissy Houston was grieving again when granddaughter Bobby Christina Brown, the only child of Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, was found unconscious in a bathtub, spent months in a coma, and died at age 22. Cissy Houston was briefly married to Freddie Garland in the 1950s. Their son, Gary Garland, was a guard for the Denver Nuggets and later sang on many of Whitney Houston's tours. Cissy Houston was married to Whitney's father, entertainment executive John Russell Houston, from 1959 to 1990. In addition to Whitney, the Houstons also had a son, Michael. Cissy Houston was born Emily Drinkard in Newark, the youngest of 8 children of a factory worker and a housewife. She was just 5 when she and 3 siblings founded the Drinkard Sisters, a gospel group that lasted 30 years, performing on the same bill as Mahalia Jackson, among others, and releasing the 1959 album A Joyous Noise. She later said she would have been happy to remain in gospel, but John Houston encouraged her to take on studio work. When rockabilly star Ronnie Hawkins, along with drummer Levon Helm and other future members of the band, needed an extra voice, Cissy Houston stepped in. I wanted to get my work done and get it done quickly. I was there, but I didn't have to be part of them. I was in the world, but I wasn't of the world, as St. Paul put it, Houston wrote, and how sweet the sound. Remembering how she soon began working with the Drifters and other singers, at least in the recording studio. We were living together as God intended us to. Some days we spent 12 or 15 hours together there, she wrote. The skin deep barriers of race seemed to fall away as we toiled side by side, drifting our little pop masterpieces. Pat Houston, She said she is thankful for the many valuable lessons learned from her mother in law. She said the family feels blessed and grateful that God allowed Cissy to spend so many years. We are touched by your generous support and your outpouring of love during our profound time of grief. Houston said on behalf of the family, we respectfully request our privacy during this difficult time. Guys, this is very sad. Cissy Houston was a force in the music industry to be reckoned with. And again, she produced, she made one of the greatest vocalists, one of the greatest voices in our history, Whitney Houston. You guys, make sure you drop down in the comments. Let's all send our deepest condolences to the Houston family, Gary, Michael, Pat, and their daughter. I know this has to be a tremendous loss, losing the matriarch of their family. I know it was hard enough when they lost Whitney, and then in turn they lost Bob and Christina. So you guys, let's just send some prayers up for this family. But before we go any further, make sure you guys subscribe, like, comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live or we post another video. Thank you guys so much for watching Crown by Kenzie. Bye.